The first time anyone noticed something was wrong was when Chidima's phone went dead for 3 days straight. She had just posted a photo on Instagram, fresh lashes, glowing skin, Burj Khalifa in the background. The caption read, "New chapter. Grateful to God, #Dubai Life." It got over 700 likes in 2 hours. Then, silence. No updates. No replies. Her sister, Amoka, thought it was just the usual roaming issue. Until day 4 came. And Chidinma still hadn't replied to her "Have you eaten?" message. That was strange. Because Chidinma never ignored that message. Even when she had nothing, even when they were sharing 1 cup of rice in their Owerri 1 room, she always replied, "No, but I will." Amoka called again. Switched off. She tried Ada, the woman who helped sponsor Chidinma's Dubai trip. Ada's number rang but went unanswered. Then Amoka sent a voice note. "Chinma, I just want to hear your voice. Even 1 second. Just say you're okay. Please." No response. That night, Amoka dreamt of Chidinma standing barefoot in a long hallway, her hands pressed against the glass wall, mouth moving but no sound. She woke up drenched in sweat. 3 weeks earlier, Chidinma was seated by the window of a dusty bus heading to Lagos. Her face was hopeful, yet her eyes carried that same hunger you see in people who have waited too long for life to change. Beside her sat Ada, the woman who made everything happen. Ada wore designer shades, long artificial nails, and confidence that made men turn. She spoke in whispers, voice low but firm, warning Chidinma not to talk to any idiot at the airport who starts asking too many questions. "Just smile and act rich," Ada said. "You're not a village girl. You're international now." Chidinma nodded. Her passport felt heavy in her bag. Her hands trembled. She had sold her father's last bicycle to help cover the processing fee. She thought it would all be worth it. Back in Owerri, Amoka filed a missing person report at the cybercrime unit in Lagos. The officer barely looked up. "Madam, she post picture yesterday. She dey enjoy. Relax." But Amoka wasn't convinced. She knew her sister's patterns. Something wasn't right. So she posted the photo and captioned it. "Have you seen my sister? Her name is Chidinma. She traveled to Dubai with Ada. She's been missing for 4 days." The post went viral. Then a stranger messaged her anonymously. "Check the shadows behind her in that last photo. That house. It's not Burj Khalifa. Look closely. You'll see the bars on the window." Amoka zoomed in. Her blood ran cold. Amoka stared at the image on her phone, her fingers trembling as she pinched and zoomed. The background behind Chidinma, once assumed to be the bright skyline of Dubai, didn't look right anymore. Behind the glow of filtered edits, something dark peeked through. The window. There were bars, metal, thick, vertical, and barely visible just behind a curtain that looked too heavy for such a modern apartment. And then the reflection. A blurry shape of a man in a white kaftan, standing just out of frame. Chidinma's face wore a smile, but now it looked hollow. Forced. Her eyes, once full of fire, were wide and empty. Amoka's heart raced. She replied to the anonymous message. "Who are you? How do you know this?" No response. Just 3 dots, then they disappeared. The first night in Dubai. The plane had barely landed when things started feeling wrong. Chidinma expected cameras, customs, and maybe some airport chaos. But instead, she was led through a side exit with no immigration stamp, no questions, no queue. She asked Ada, whispering nervously, "What about immigration?" Ada smiled. "Don't worry. Your visa's already stamped." They stepped into a tinted SUV. 2 men in black sat in front, silent. Ada didn't introduce them. Chidinma wanted to ask questions but didn't. Her mother had warned her not to appear ungrateful. They drove for hours. Not to the city. Not to a hotel. But to a mansion in the outskirts. No signage. No neighbors. Surveillance cameras at every corner. The gate closed behind them with a loud metallic thud that sounded far too final. Inside, the house was cold. Too cold. White walls. No paintings. No windows that opened. Ada handed her a silk robe. "Change," she said. "You need to shower before you sleep. You're dirty from Nigeria." Chidinma entered a room with a locked wardrobe and a bed too clean, too stiff. There was a small screen on the wall. It blinked once. Then again. She looked up. A small black dot in the ceiling stared back. A camera. She covered her chest with her arms and whispered to herself, "Maybe it's normal. Maybe it's just for safety." But that night, she couldn't sleep. Because she heard something. Soft crying. Behind the wall. Then footsteps. Then silence. Amoka took the image to a cybercafe technician who specialized in metadata tracing. The man wore thick glasses and smelled of engine oil, but he was good. He downloaded the photo and scanned the embedded GPS data. Then he frowned. "This wasn't taken anywhere near Burj Khalifa," he muttered. "This was taken in our Kowenij, industrial outskirts. No hotels there. Just warehouse estates and private compounds." He leaned closer to the screen. "And look at this timestamp. It says 2:17 a.m. Amoka gasped. She posted that photo around 7 p.m. The man turned, a grave expression on his face. Someone else posted it from her account. Someone who wants people to think she's fine. It was day 3 in the mansion. Chidinma hadn't seen Ada since the first night. Her phone had been taken for registration and her SIM destroyed. Each morning, a tray of food would be delivered without a word. On the 4th day, the door opened. A woman entered, tall, pale-skinned, wearing a full abaya. Her voice was sharp and cold. "You'll work today. You'll be clean, beautiful. Understand?" Chidinma backed away. "Work where?" The woman didn't answer. She pulled out a phone and showed her a blurred video, a girl, screaming, tied to a bed. "If you disobey, this is what happens. And then we send the clip to your village." Chidinma broke. Tears rushed down her face. The woman shoved makeup into her hands. "Fix your face. You look cheap." Atoweri. Amoka reached out to a journalist known for exposing trafficking rings. Her name was Zora Oyai, and she had gone undercover in Ghana 2 years prior. Zora agreed to meet. They sat in a dim cafe. Amoka showed her everything, messages, photos, the anonymous tip. Zora studied the evidence. "You said her handler was named Ada." Amoka nodded. Zora opened her laptop, typed furiously. A few clicks later, she turned the screen toward Amoka. There she was, Aden Wick, wanted by Interpol under a different name, Adan Okafor. Connected to disappearances of 14 girls across Africa. She changes names. Cities. Recruits girls. Then sells them into private networks. I've been tracking her for months. But this. Zara tapped the image. This may be the lead we need. Chidinma encounters her first client. Her robe was removed. She was dressed in a tight red gown, heels she could barely walk in. The room had velvet curtains and a low-lit chandelier. Music played softly. A man entered. Foreign. Older. Silent. He didn't touch her. Just stared. Then he whispered, "Turn around." Slowly. Her body trembled. Suddenly, the door burst open. Another man walked in, young, bearded, Nigerian. He looked at her, eyes wide. Wait, Chidinma. Her eyes darted to him. She gasped. Tiga. It was Tiga, our old schoolmate from Owerri Secondary School. The same boy who once borrowed her textbook during WAC. He turned to the older man. She's not ready. Leave. The man growled, but obeyed. Once the door shut, Tiga grabbed her hand. Don't scream. Don't speak. I'll come back for you. Then he left. Chidinma didn't sleep that night. She sat cowed in the far corner of the room, knees stuck to her chest, eyes fixed on the door. Every footstep down the hallway made her flinch. Her heart wouldn't slow down. Not after what had just happened. Tiga. He was here. But why? How? He looked stronger now, darker, taller. But it was him. The same boy who once gave her groundnut at break time. The same one who had stammered when he asked for her number 5 years ago. But now, he worked for them. Meanwhile, Tiga sat on a metal bench in the staff wing of the mansion, his head in his hands. He cursed under his breath. It's her. Chidinma from Owerri. He hadn't seen her in years. When he joined this security job, they told him it was logistics and protection. No touching the girls. Just guard and monitor. He was desperate. His mother was sick. His sister was out of school. He thought he could stomach the work. Pretend not to see the girls being moved from car to car. Until now. Now the face behind the makeup was someone he knew. Someone real. Someone who reminded him who he was. On the 7th day, the house grew colder. Chidinma hadn't seen Tiga again. But something was changing. That morning, she was taking 4 photos. They painted her face with smoky makeup. Made her pose in black lingerie. A man with a DSLR took shots from every angle. He didn't speak. She was uploaded to a website that night. Her name was no longer Chidinma. It was listed as Zara, age 21, fresh arrival. The description: Nigerian. Soft skin. New to the lifestyle. Private mansion service. 5,000 AED per night. She threw up in the bathroom afterward. But the toilet had no flush. She wiped her mouth and stared at her reflection. You are not this. You will not die here. That night, Tiga slipped a tiny note under her door. It read, tomorrow, midnight. Get to the back stairs. Wear flat shoes. Don't talk to anyone. Don't panic. Trust me. She pressed the note to her chest, tears slipping down her face. It was hope, fragile and dangerous. She waited. Counted every second. Midnight came. She crept out of her room, barefoot, clutching a pair of rubber slippers stolen from the laundry closet. Her heartbeat echoed louder than her footsteps. Past the white hallway. Past the steel dining table. Past the girl in the next room who saw her and nodded silently. She reached the stairs. Tiga was there, hoodie pulled low, eyes darting. He handed her a black abaya and mask. Put it on. Act normal. They moved quickly. Down the back stairs. Through the kitchen. Toward the garage. They had almost reached the back door when a voice rang out. Stop right there. It was Ada. In Nigeria. Zara, the journalist, had sent an encrypted file to an NGO in the UAE. Inside were coordinates, data logs, and screenshots of Chidinma's profile before it was taken down. The NGO confirmed the compound matched the description of several trafficking safe houses under investigation. But raids were dangerous. Girls were often moved hours before police arrived. They needed someone inside to stall Ada. They needed time. Back in the mansion, Ada stepped into the garage slowly, heels clicking. Her eyes locked on Chidinma. Her lips curled into a half smile. "You think I haven't seen this movie before?" she said softly. "You think I didn't know you two recognized each other?" Tiga stood still. "She's sick. I was taking her for medicine. She's been vomiting blood." Ada paused. Then laughed. "So dramatic. I should have made you an actress, Zara." She snapped her fingers. Two guards appeared. Tiga reached for something in his pocket, but Ada raised a hand. "Don't. You'll only die tired." She turned to Chidinma. "Let me tell you a secret, my dear. There's no escape here. Not unless I say so." She leaned closer. "But if you want freedom, I can give it to you, for a price." Chidinma's lips parted. Ada whispered, "One video. Just one. Do what the client says. Smile. Moan. That's all. And I'll put you on the plane myself." Chidinma blinked. Her stomach turned. She whispered, "And if I say no?" Ada's smile vanished. "Then you rot in that room. And your family in Nigeria will receive a link they can never unsee." Chidinma's knees gave way. She dropped to the floor. But as she did, Tiga slipped something small into her hand, a memory card. The NGO alerted Dubai authorities. The house was said to be raided in 36 hours. Zara messaged Amoka. "We are close. If she can just stay alive one more day, we'll get her out." Amoka dropped to her knees and wept. Chidinma was forced into makeup again. A camera was mounted. A client waited behind the glass. Ada handed her a drink. "Relax. This will make it easier." Chidinma took it. Pretended to drink. Then coughed violently and spat it out. Ada hissed. "What's your problem?" "I'm allergic," Chidinma gasped. "Just give me 5 minutes." She stumbled into the bathroom and locked the door. Inside, she removed the memory card Tige gave her and shoved it inside the air vent. She whispered, "If I don't survive, let someone find it." Then she flushed the fake drink and stepped back into the room. The house felt quieter than usual that night. The lights in the hallway dimmed earlier than normal. The guards were fewer. The foreign men who came and went like shadows had all disappeared. Something was happening. But Chidinma didn't know if it was the raid or a trap. She sat in the corner of her room, makeup still on from the earlier photo shoot. Her head rested against the cold wall, her ears straining for any sign of Tiga. But he hadn't returned since sleeping her the memory card. She whispered into the silence. "God, if I make it out of this place, I will never waste my second chance." Then she heard it. A bang. Then shouting. Then, sirens. For a moment, she couldn't believe it was real. Earlier that day, Tiga had stolen the master key from the security room and planted evidence in Ada's safe. He uploaded a folder of names, bank accounts, and recordings of Ada's meetings with clients onto a secure server. He knew what he was doing meant death if they caught him. He also knew that Chidinma wouldn't survive another week. He made one final call. Room 4. Back hallway. Girl named Zara. She's your key witness. Don't miss her. Then he vanished into the servants' quarters and waited. Masked officers stormed the building with trained dogs and heat sensors. Girls screamed. Door slammed. Ada was in her upstairs office, drinking tea when the first flashbang hit the ground floor. She reached for her burner phone, but it was already dead. She ran to the back stairwell and stopped. Tiga stood there, gun in hand. "Where are you going, auntie?" he said softly. Ada sneered. "You think you'll make it out of this alive?" Tiga smiled bitterly. "I don't need to. But you won't either." He didn't shoot her. But he did step aside just as 2 officers appeared behind her and tackled her to the floor. Meanwhile, in Chidima's room, the door burst open. A female officer shouted, "Zara." Chidinma stood, blinking. "My name is Chidinma. Please, help me." They covered her with a blanket and led her out. As they passed the hallway, she saw Ede pinned to the ground, screaming curses in Igbo. Their eyes locked. For once, Ede looked afraid. And Chidinma looked unbroken. 48 hours later, Chidinma sat under bright lights, hands shaking as she spoke to the Nigerian consulate and the UN trafficking rep. She handed them the memory card, the one she'd hidden in the vent. It contained everything. Client names, room footage, payoffs, abuse, proof. She asked only one thing. "Please, don't let this happen to another girl." 1 month later, Amoka stood at the arrival terminal in Lagos. Her eyes scanned the crowd nervously, clinging to the worn photo of her sister she had carried everywhere for the past month. Then, she saw her. Chidinma stepped off the plane. Her hair was shorter, her eyes darker. But it was her. They ran into each other's arms. They didn't speak for a long time. Just cried. Finally, Amoka whispered, "What happened to you?" Chidinma closed her eyes. "I saw the inside of hell. But I came back alive." 3 months later, a new Instagram account appeared, verified and clean. At Voices Uncaged. The first post was a video of Chidinma standing in front of a white wall, wearing a t-shirt that read, "I was almost sold. But I survived." She looked into the camera. Her voice clear. "If someone promises you a job abroad, ask questions. If they tell you not to speak to airport officials, run. If they say, don't worry about documents, worry. They nearly took my name, my voice, my life. But I made it home. And now, I'm helping others do the same."